My beloved child, stay still for just a moment. Do not let your thumb move, and do not let your mind wander away from this frequency. You might think you stumbled upon this message by a mere twist of fate or a random ripple in an algorithm. But I am the architect of every heartbeat and the master of every coincidence. There are no accidents in my kingdom, only appointments. I have moved heaven and earth to bring you to this exact second of time, to this specific digital sanctuary, because the noise in your life has become so deafening that you can no longer hear the rhythm of my love. You are holding your device right now, perhaps, with a heavy heart, perhaps with eyes tired from the blue light and the weight of 1,000 unanswered questions. Your mind is racing a relentless marathon of what ifs and how long, yet I am here to tell you that the race stops here. I have interrupted your scrolling because I have heard your silent scream for a sign. And this is the signal you have been begging for. I know the exhaustion that clings to your bones is the kind that sleep cannot touch. I see you navigating through the fog of uncertainty, trying to be strong for everyone else, while you feel yourself crumbling into dust. You have been waiting for a breakthrough, searching for a light at the end of a tunnel that seems to grow longer with every step you take. But listen closely to my whisper. I am not at the end of the tunnel. I am right here in the darkness with you. Before I reveal the immense blessing and the total restoration I am preparing to pour into your life, I need you to acknowledge that you are ready to receive it. This is a moment of divine alignment. Before I calm the storm that has been raging in your soul, declare your presence and your willingness to trust me. Type, "I am here, Lord," or 7007 in the comments right now to open the gates of heaven over your life. This is your act of faith, a signal to the spiritual realm that you are listening. And as you prepare your heart, join this family of light. Press the like button to signal your agreement with my word and subscribe to this channel to ensure you never have to walk through the shadows alone again. You feel a stirring in your spirit, don't you? That slight shiver, that sudden warmth in your chest, that is my spirit brushing against yours. For too long you have listened to the lies of the accuser, who tells you that you are forgotten, that your prayers have hit a ceiling of brass, and that you are destined to wander in this wilderness forever. But I am the God who makes a way where there is no way. I am the God who speaks to the waves, and they become like glass. The very fact that you are still listening to my voice is proof that I am not finished with you. You have been chosen for such a time as this, not because you are perfect, but because you are mine. The world sees your struggle, but I see your endurance. The world sees your scars, but I see your strength. This is the divine interruption that precedes your greatest transformation. Do not turn away, for the words I am about to speak into your soul will be the oil that heals your wounds and the fire that lights your path toward a destiny you never dared to dream of. The storm is not here to drown you. It is here to wash away everything that no longer serves your divine purpose. Prepare yourself, for the silence is ending, and my glory is about to be revealed through you. My precious child, I see the mask you wear so skillfully. To the world, you are the one who has it all together, the person who never falters and always has the right answer. You walk into rooms with a smile that reaches your eyes, but never quite touches the heaviness in your soul. You have become a master of the "I'm fine" response, a phrase that has become a shield against the vulnerability you fear. I see you in those quiet moments, perhaps driving home after a long day of serving others, where the mask finally begins to slip, and the first tear falls before you even pull into the driveway. I see you in the mirrors where you don't recognize the person looking back as the one who looks tired, not just from a lack of sleep, but from the relentless performance of appearing okay, You are exhausted from the weight of expectations, carrying the burdens of everyone around you while tucking your own into the dark, forgotten corners of your heart. You feel that if you let the mask crack for even a second, the whole world might fall apart. So you tighten your grip and keep moving even when your spirit is screaming for a moment to just breathe and be seen. I see the high-functioning anxiety that drives your every move. It is the silent, invisible engine that keeps you productive and reliable. But it also keeps you a prisoner within your own mind. You stay busy because the moment you stop, the thoughts finally catch up. The what-ifs start to whisper, and the nagging feeling of not being enough begins to gnaw at the edges of your confidence. You are the one everyone calls, when they are in crisis, the shoulder. And everyone leans on the fixer of problems that were never yours to solve. But I know the question that haunts you when the lights go out. Who is the pillar for the pillar? You feel like a lighthouse whose own foundation is being eroded by the very waves you are helping others navigate. You give and you give until you are an empty vessel, yet you still find a way to squeeze out one more drop of compassion for those you love. My child, I see the bravery in your silence, but I want you to know that you do not have to be brave with me. I am the only one who truly knows what is hidden behind that mask, and I love the person I see there, the weary, honest, and beautiful soul that is struggling beneath the layers of fine. You have spent so much time convincing everyone that you are indestructible, that you have almost convinced yourself. You push through the burnout, you ignore the palpitations in your chest, and you tell yourself that your pain is insignificant compared to the suffering of the world. But in my eyes, your heart is the center of the universe right now. I was there in every midnight hour when you sat on the edge of your bed, head in your hands, wondering how you would find the strength to do it all again tomorrow. I saw the moments when you had to lock yourself in a bathroom stall just to have 3 minutes of silence and a deep breath before putting the mask back on and walking back out into the battle. You feel isolated because you think no one would understand the complexity of your struggle, but I understand it perfectly. I designed your heart to be tender, and it was never meant to carry the weight of the world on its own. You were created to be a child of the Most High, not a martyr for the comfort of others. The strength you have been using to maintain the mask is the very energy I want to transform into true, unshakable peace that requires no performance. It is time to let the facade fall. In this sacred space, we are sharing you are safe to be broken. You are safe to be uncertain. You are safe to be completely and utterly tired. You do not need to perform for my love. It was yours before you even took your first breath, and it remains yours even when you have nothing left to give. I am calling you out of the shadows of pretense and into the light of authenticity. This journey we are on together is not about making you perfect in the eyes of society. It is about making you whole in my presence. As you listen to these words, feel the tension in your jaw and your shoulders begin to release. Feel the iron grip you've had on your own life start to loosen just a little. You are being built into something far greater than a person who can simply survive. You are becoming a person who will thrive in the fullness of my grace. The mask served its purpose to protect you when you felt unsafe. But now in my arms, you are more than safe. You are seen, you are known, and you are deeply, unconditionally loved. Let the I'm fine go and simply be mine. My child, I want you to listen to what your body is telling you right now, for I am the one who knit you together in your mother's womb. And I know every fiber of your being. You have tried to convince your mind that everything is under control, but your body is telling a different story. I've seen you clutching your chest when the sudden weight of anxiety presses down on you, making it feel as though the very air has turned to lead. I have watched you swallow hard against the lump in your throat that never seems to go away. The words you've suppressed, the cries you've held back, and the truths you've been afraid to speak. Your shoulders are pulled high toward your ears, locked in a permanent state of defense, as if you are bracing for a blow that never comes yet, you are always ready for. This tension is not merely physical. It is the physical manifestation of the spiritual stones you have been carrying for years. You were never meant to be a pack animal for the world's sorrows. Your frame was designed for glory, for movement, and for rest, not to be a warehouse for trauma and unexpressed grief. I see you in the stillness of the night, specifically when the clock strikes 3. While the rest of the world is draped in the silence of sleep, you are wide awake staring at the shadows on the ceiling. Your mind becomes a courtroom where you are both the defendant and the judge, replaying every mistake and overanalyzing every conversation. You feel a restlessness in your legs and a hollowness in your stomach that no amount of food or comfort can fill. This exhaustion you feel is not the kind that comes from a long day of honest labor. It is a profound soul weariness that comes from high-functioning survival. You have spent so much energy keeping the walls up that your nervous system has forgotten how to stand down. You are living in a constant state of fight or flight, even when you are sitting in a quiet room. I want you to know that I see this struggle. I see the toll it has taken on your health, the way your hair has thinned, the way your skin has lost its glow, and the way your eyes look heavy, even after a weekend of rest. Your body is not failing you. It is crying out for its creator to intervene. I am here to initiate a divine recalibration of your physical and spiritual self. Right now, in this very moment, I want you to take a deliberate breath, the kind of breath you haven't allowed yourself to take in weeks. Inhale deeply. Hold it for a heartbeat. And now exhale slowly, letting out the sigh that has been trapped in your lungs. Do it again. As you breathe, I want you to consciously drop your shoulders. Let the muscles in your neck soften. Release the clench in your jaw that you didn't even realize was there. I am the great physician, and I am reaching into the microscopic spaces of your cells to bring order to the chaos. I am soothing the frayed nerves that have been firing for far too long. Your body is the temple of my spirit, and I am moving through that temple now, clearing out the clutter of stress and the debris of old wounds. I am not just healing your soul. I am restoring the vessel that carries it. Your health is precious to me, and I am placing my hands over the areas where you feel the most pain, where the inflammation of life has taken root. Understand this. My beloved, you cannot heal what you refuse to feel. For too long, you have numbed the signals your body was sending you, pushing through the pain, as if it were an enemy to be conquered. But your body is your ally. It is the alarm system that tells you when you have strayed too far from my peace. This exhaustion is my way of calling you back to the secret place, to the Sabbath of my presence. You are not a machine meant for endless productivity. You are a human being meant for divine intimacy. As you listen to the cadence of my voice, let the healing begin. Let the cortisol levels drop and the peace that passes all understanding begin to circulate through your bloodstream. I am washing away the toxic residue of doing and replacing it with the holy nectar of being. You are being recharged, not by your own willpower, but by the current of my life-giving spirit. Relax, my child. The battle is no longer yours to fight with your muscles and your nerves. I have taken over the defense of your life. Sleep will come easier tonight, and your breath will be deeper tomorrow, for the Master of the universe is tending to your every need. My chosen one, I want to talk to you about the cold ache of loneliness that has followed you like a shadow for as long as you can remember. Have you ever wondered why you feel like an alien on your own planet? I have watched you stand in the middle of a crowded room, surrounded by family, friends, and laughter, yet feeling as though there is a glass wall between you and the rest of the world. You speak the same language, but your heart beats to a rhythm they cannot hear. You look at the things they chase, the status, the temporary pleasures, the shallow approvals, and you find yourself unable to relate. There is a deep, ancient longing inside of you that the world cannot satisfy. And because of this, you often feel like a puzzle piece that doesn't fit into any box. I see the pain in your eyes when you realize that even those closest to you don't truly see you. They see the version of you that serves them, but they don't see the depth of the ocean that is your soul. You have felt misunderstood, judged, and cast aside. And you have asked me in the darkness, "Lord, why am I so different? Why must I walk this path alone?" Listen to me. My precious one, you are not broken, and you are not forgotten. You have often been labeled as the black sheep of your family or your social circle. You are the one who breaks the cycles, the one who questions the toxic traditions, the one who refuses to bow to the idols of mediocrity. But I want to give you a new name today. What the world calls the black sheep, I call my golden child. You were not meant to fit in because you were created to stand out as a beacon of light. Your inability to settle for normal is not a flaw. It is a divine safeguard I placed within you. I deliberately made you incompatible with certain environments because I knew those environments would eventually suffocate the destiny I have placed in your spirit. If you had fit in, you would have become complacent. If you had been accepted by everyone, you would have sought their approval instead of my presence. This isolation you have endured is a sacred cocoon. It is the place where I am stripping away the expectations of man, so that you can finally hear the whisper of your Creator. You are being refined in the silence, prepared for a magnitude of glory that those who stay in the crowd will never understand. This period of your life is what I call a holy separation. It is not abandonment. It is protection. There are voices and influences that would have corrupted the pure vision I am giving you. So I had to pull you away into the wilderness. Just as I led Moses to the backside of the desert and Paul into the silence of Arabia, I have led you into this season of solitude. I am the wall of fire around you, keeping the wolves of distraction at bay. While you are weeping over the friends who left and the doors that closed, I am rejoicing because I have finally gotten you alone. In this isolation, I am teaching you how to lean entirely on me. I am showing you that my validation is the only foundation that can never be shaken. You are being trained to be a lighthouse, and a lighthouse is always built on a solitary rock far away from the bustling city, facing the fiercest storms. You cannot guide others through the darkness if you have not learned how to thrive in it yourself. This loneliness is the price of the anointing you carry. It is the weight of the call. But remember, though you feel alone, you are never lonely. I am in the very air you breathe. I am the warmth in your chest. I am the voice in the silence. The world may have walked away, but the King of Kings is standing right beside you, and I am more than enough. This season of hiddenness is coming to an end, but the lessons you learn here will be your greatest weapons in the future. You are being built into a pillar of strength, someone who can stand unmoved when the world around you begins to tremble. Your isolation is not a prison. It is a palace of preparation. I have set you apart because I have set you above. I have called you out because I have called you up. Rest in this truth, my beloved. I have chosen you for this because I know that within your heart lies the courage to walk where others fear to tread. You are my peculiar treasure. And soon, the very people who rejected you will come to seek the light that only you can provide. My beloved child, let us look deep into the center of the turbulence that has been shaking your soul. Have you noticed that the harder you try to fix things, the more complicated they become? Have you felt that the more you grasp for control, the more life seems to slip through your fingers like dry sand? There is a spiritual reason for this friction. You have been caught in a cycle of self-preservation, trying to be the architect, the builder, and the protector of your own life all at once. You are like a sailor caught in a midnight gale, exhausted from trying to row against a current that is governed by the moon and the stars. You are rowing with all your might, your hands are blistered, and your breath is ragged, yet the shore only seems to drift further away. This inner storm is not a sign of my absence. It is a signal that your soul is trying to operate outside of its divine design. You were never meant to carry the burden of the how and the when. That is my domain. Your struggle is born from the belief that if you let go, everything will collapse. But I am telling you today, the only reason things are falling apart is so they can finally fall into place according to my perfect will. Think of a great ship in the middle of a hurricane. The sailor in his panic tries to fight the wind, tries to steer by his own limited sight, and tries to patch every leak with his bare hands. But the captain stands on the bridge calm and unbothered, for he understands the language of the sea. He knows that the very wind that threatens to tip the ship is the same wind that can carry it home if the sails are set correctly. Surrender. My child is not a sign of weakness. It is the highest form of spiritual intelligence. It is not giving up. It is giving over the helm to the one who created the water and the wind. When you surrender, you are not admitting defeat to the storm. You are acknowledging the sovereignty of the captain. You have been fighting battles that were never yours to fight. You have been trying to change hearts that only I can touch. And you have been trying to open doors that I have locked for your own protection. The noise in your mind, that constant planning and worrying, is the sound of your spirit trying to play God. It is time to step down from the throne of your own life and let me take my rightful place. Listen to the frequency of my heart as I call out to you. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. This is not just a promise for the afterlife. It is a manual for your survival today. To take my yoke means to walk in step with me, not ahead of me in your anxiety, and not behind me in your doubt. When you are yoked to me, I carry the heavy end of the weight. I set the pace. I navigate the terrain. The reason you are so tired is that you have been trying to pull the plow alone. You have been trying to force a harvest in a season of drought. But when you align your spirit with mine, the struggle ceases. The storm may still be howling outside, but within the sanctuary of my presence, there is a stillness that no external force can disturb. This is the secret of the quiet spirit, the ability to watch the waves rise and fall, while knowing that your foundation is built upon the rock of ages. I want you to examine the roots of your fear. Why is it so hard for you to trust me with the details? It is because you have been conditioned by a world that says you only get what you work for, and you only keep what you guard. But in my kingdom, you receive what you have the faith to let go of. Your need for control is actually a cry for security. But true security cannot be found in a bank account, a relationship, or a perfect plan. It can only be found in the realization that you are mine. If I can clothe the lilies of the field in more splendor than kings, and if I can keep the planets in their orbits without a single error, do you not think I can manage the circumstances of your life? Every time you choose to worry, you are essentially saying that I am not enough. But every time you choose to exhale and say, "Thy will be done," you are releasing a fragrance of faith that moves my hand. The storm is your classroom, and the lesson is surrender. Once you pass this test, the storm will have no more power over you, for you will have learned how to walk on the water. And so, my precious one, take your hands off the steering wheel of your destiny for a moment. Close your eyes and visualize yourself handing over the keys of every problem, every debt, every broken relationship, and every health concern to me. Feel the immediate relief as the weight is transferred from your fragile shoulders to my omnipotent ones. You are being invited into a rest that is deeper than any sleep you have ever known. This is the moment where your doing ends and my being begins. You are not losing your life. You are finally finding the life that is truly life. The winds are still blowing, yes, but look at the sails of your soul. They are no longer tattered by your effort. They are being filled by the breath of my spirit, and we are moving toward a horizon of peace that the world can neither give nor take away. The storm is not your end. It is the beginning of your greatest testimony. Trust the captain, for he has never lost a ship, and he will certainly not start with you. My beloved, I know the hollow ache that comes when you pray, and the only answer you hear is the sound of your own heartbeat. You have searched the heavens for a sign, a whisper, or a flicker of light, but the sky remains vast and mute. I see you kneeling in the darkness, wondering if I have turned my face away, or worse, if I was never there at all. You feel as though your petitions have fallen on deaf ears, and the silence feels like a heavy blanket of abandonment. But listen to my heart, my silence is never my absence. In the kingdom of heaven, silence is not a sign of indifference. It is a sign of deep, holy work. Just as a mother remains quiet while her child sleeps, watching over every breath with a love too deep for words, I am standing over you in the stillness. I am not ignoring your cries. I am answering them in a frequency that your physical senses are not yet tuned to hear. Your doubt tells you I am gone, but your spirit knows that I am the very air in the room. Consider the seed planted deep within the black soil. From the perspective of the seed, the world has ended. It is surrounded by darkness, crushed by the weight of the earth, and cut off from the warmth of the sun. It feels forgotten and buried. But it is not buried. It is planted. In that profound silence, away from the eyes of the world, is the miracle of life begins. The outer shell must break, and the roots must stretch down into the deep, hidden places before the first green shoot can ever reach for the sky. If I were to dig up the seed every day to show it, I am working, it would never grow. The darkness is necessary. The silence is the womb of your destiny. You are in a season of rooting. I am strengthening your foundation so that when the blessing comes, you will not be uprooted by the winds of pride or the storms of life. Do not mistake the quiet for a no. It is a wait, and in the waiting, I am making you ready for the yes that will change everything. My silence is also a test of what you have learned when the light was bright and my voice was clear. It is easy to trust me when the miracles are flowing and the path is paved with gold. But true faith, the kind that moves mountains and shatters chains, is forged in the quiet. I am training you to walk by faith and not by sight, to trust my character even when you cannot see my hand. I am weaning you off the milk of constant reassurance, so that you can eat the meat of deep, unshakable conviction. Think of a teacher during a difficult exam. The teacher is always silent during the test. They are not silent because they want you to fail, but because they know they have already given you everything you need to pass. I am watching you with immense pride as you choose to believe despite the silence, as you choose to pray despite the lack of an immediate answer. This is where your character is built. This is where you become a giant in the spirit. Stay steady, my precious child. The dawn is not delayed. It is perfectly timed. I am orchestrating 1,000 details behind the scenes that you cannot possibly comprehend. I am moving hearts, opening reservoirs of provision, and aligning people you haven't even met yet. If I revealed the full plan now, your mind would be overwhelmed, and your heart might grow fearful of the scale of what is coming. The silence is my way of protecting you from the weight of the future until you have the strength to carry it. Hold on to the truth that I am the same God in the silence as I am in the shout. I did not bring you through the fire to leave you in the cold. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the one who knows the end from the beginning. And I promise you that the story does not end in the dark. The silence is merely the pause before the symphony reaches its most beautiful crescendo. Trust me in the quiet, for the morning is coming, and it will be more glorious than anything you have ever imagined. My child, let us sit together in the quiet and redefine what it means for me to be good. You have been taught by the world that goodness is measured by the absence of pain, a path without thorns, and a sky that stays blue forever. When life takes a sharp turn into the shadows, you find yourself questioning. My heart asking, if God is good, why is this happening to me? But I want to open your eyes to a higher, more eternal reality. My goodness is not merely the absence of trouble. It is my unwavering presence within the trouble. My goodness is not giving you everything you want, but giving you everything you need to become the person I created you to be. Sometimes, my goodness looks like a closed door that you desperately tried to kick open. Sometimes it looks like a no that breaks your heart in the moment, but saves your soul for a lifetime. You see the immediate disappointment, the sting of rejection, and the coldness of the delay. But I see the long-term disaster I am steering you away from. Trust that my definition of good is infinitely deeper than yours. For I am not just interested in your temporary comfort. I am obsessed with your eternal character. You have wept over relationships that ended abruptly, and opportunities that vanished into thin air, thinking I had turned my back on you. But I was actually acting as your divine shield. You were asking for a seat at a table where poison was being served, so I pulled the chair out from under you before you could take a sip. You were begging for a burden you were not yet strong enough to carry, so I delayed the assignment to save you from being crushed under its weight. If I had given you the blessing you asked for a year ago, it would have destroyed you because your spiritual foundation was still being poured. I am like a wise parent who refuses to give a sharp blade to a toddler, no matter how much they cry or scream for it. The no you received was not a punishment. It was an act of mercy. The waiting room you are sitting in is not a prison. It is a construction site. I am expanding your capacity, strengthening your integrity, and refining your motives. I am ensuring that when the yes finally comes, you will have the wisdom to manage it and the humility to keep it, rather than letting the blessing become your downfall. If you are beginning to see that even the trials were a form of my mercy, then you are ready for the next level of this journey. Do not let this revelation stop with you. If you believe that my silence and my no are actually acts of profound love, then show your faith. Press the like button on this video right now to signal your agreement with heaven's perspective, and subscribe to this family of believers so we can continue to walk this path of transformation together. Your agreement here on earth activates a new level of peace in the spirit realm. By joining this community, you are telling the universe that you no longer judge my goodness by your fluctuating circumstances, but by my unchanging and holy character. This act of faith seals the truth in your heart that I am working all things together for your ultimate good, even the things that currently make you cry. You often ask for new wine, new joy, new wealth, new influence, and new beginnings, but you are still trying to hold it in your old wineskin. Your old ways of thinking, your lingering bitterness, and your habits of self-reliance cannot contain the magnitude of what I am preparing to pour out. If I gave you the new while you were still clinging to the old, both the blessing and the vessel would be lost. The stretching you feel right now, the discomfort, the pressure, and the feeling of being pulled in directions you didn't choose is the process of making you a new vessel. I am breaking the hardened parts of your heart so they can become flexible and resilient again. I am washing away the vinegar of the past so you can finally taste the sweetness of the future. The pain of the process is the absolute proof of the promotion. You are being prepared for a pour that will overflow and bless everyone in your circle of influence. Be patient with the potter. My child, for the clay does not yet see the masterpiece that is taking shape on the wheel. Remember, my beloved, that my goodness followed you into the valley, just as much as it led you to the mountaintop. It was good that you were humbled for it, taught you where your true strength lies. It was good that you learned to pray in the dark, for it made your faith fireproof. It was good that you discovered that I am all you have, for only then did you realize that I am truly all you need. Stop measuring my love by the lack of problems, and start measuring it by the abundance of grace I provide to handle them. The storm hasn't stopped yet because you still have divine secrets to learn in the wind. But rest assured, the goodness of the Lord is the foundation you stand on, and it will never, ever fail you. The harvest is coming, and you will look back at this very moment and thank me for the no that led to the greatest yes of your life. You are not just surviving a trial. You are being perfected by a Father who loves you too much to leave you as you are. My child, listen closely, for the war you are fighting is not against flesh and blood, nor is it against your bank account or your critics. The true battlefield is the 6 inches between your ears. Have you noticed how the enemy of your soul rarely attacks your circumstances directly? Instead, he attacks your perception of those circumstances. He cannot stop the sun from rising, but he can convince you to keep your curtains closed. He cannot stop my hand from blessing you, but he can plant seeds of doubt so deep that you stop looking for the harvest. You find yourself trapped in a loop of worst-case scenarios, a mental theater where the same tragedy plays on repeat. These thoughts are not yours, and they are certainly not mine. They are fiery darts designed to drain your strength before you even reach the fight. I am here to tell you that you are not a victim of your thoughts. You are the gatekeeper. You have been given the authority to evict every lie that contradicts my truth. The voices of the world are loud, urgent, and demanding. They scream of scarcity, failure, and time running out. But my voice is a still small whisper, a frequency of peace that requires you to be quiet to hear it. Can you tell the difference? The enemy speaks in hurry, worry, and condemnation. He says, you've messed up too much, or it's too late for you. I speak in rest, trust, and grace. I say, my child, I have already forgiven you, and my timing is perfect. If a thought brings you a sense of panic or makes you feel like you are being chased, it is not from me. I do not drive my sheep, I lead them. I want you to start practicing holy interrogation. When a dark thought enters your mind, ask it, do you belong to my Father? If it does not carry my peace, do not give it a chair at the table of your heart. Cast it out and replace it with the promises I have whispered to you in the secret place. There is a divine power in the command to be still and know that I am God. This is not an invitation to be passive. It is an active discipline of the Spirit. To be still is to consciously shut down the engines of anxiety. It is to refuse to engage with the frantic narratives of the mind. I am asking you to find that inner sanctuary where the world's noise cannot penetrate. When the wind and waves of life are crashing around you, do not look at the water. Look at me. Remember Peter. As long as his eyes were locked on mine, he defied the laws of physics. The moment he looked at the storm, he began to sink. Your mind is the same. If you focus on the problem, you will be overwhelmed by it. If you focus on the problem solver, the problem becomes a platform for my glory. You are the architect of your inner world. Choose to build a temple of gratitude rather than a prison of fear. The enemy knows that if he can control your thoughts, he can control your destiny. He wants you to stay in the waiting room of despair, believing that nothing is changing. But right now, I am breaking the strongholds of negativity that have held you captive for years. I am renewing your mind and washing away the mental fatigue of the battle. If you can feel this mental shift happening, if you can feel the fog of confusion starting to lift, do not stay silent. This is the moment to anchor your faith. If you believe I am clearing your path and giving you a sound mind type, I believe, or 777 in the comments right now. By doing this, you are marking the territory of your mind for my kingdom. You are declaring that the enemy's lease on your thoughts has expired. You are not losing your mind. You are gaining mine. You are being transformed by the renewing of your spirit, moving from a victim mentality to a victor's consciousness. The thoughts that used to keep you awake at night will soon have no more power over you. You will walk through the fire and not be burned, and you will stand in the storm and not be shaken. For your mind is stayed on me. I am giving you a garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness. Take a deep breath and let my peace saturate your thoughts. The battle belongs to the Lord, and the victory is already yours. The fortress of fear is crumbling, and the palace of peace is rising in its place. Walk in this truth today, my beloved, and watch how your world changes when your mind finally agrees with mine. My chosen one, I want you to mark this moment in your heart, for I am about to set a divine clock upon your season of sorrow. You have been in a cycle of stagnation for so long that you have forgotten what progress feels like. But I am announcing a 7-day window of supernatural acceleration. This is not a random occurrence. It is a sacred alignment. In the next 7 days, I am moving you from the wilderness of waiting to the threshold of possessing. During the first 3 days, you will experience a profound emotional release. I saw the tears you held back to stay strong for others. I am now giving you permission to let them flow. These are not tears of despair. They are liquid prayers that wash away the toxic residue of the past 3 years. You may feel a sudden wave of grief or a deep need for solitude. Do not resist it. I am performing a spiritual surgery on your heart, removing the calcified layers of disappointment so that you can feel my joy again. You are being emptied so that you can be filled. As we move into the 4th and 5th days of this shift, the fog that has clouded your judgment and your vision will begin to evaporate. You will experience a clarity of the spirit that you haven't known in a decade. Decisions that seemed impossible will suddenly become simple. Ideas for your future, your business, and your family will begin to drop into your mind like lightning bolts from heaven. You will find yourself waking up with a sense of purpose rather than a sense of dread. The voices of lack will grow quiet, and the voice of provision will become your new frequency. I am aligning your thoughts with the reality of my abundance. You will start to see the connections between your past pain and your future power. You will realize that nothing was wasted, every tear was a seed, and every battle was a training ground for the authority you are about to walk in. The climax of this shift will arrive on the 6th and 7th days. This is when the spiritual work manifests in the physical realm. I am preparing a suddenly for you, a breakthrough that you did not see coming and could not have engineered with your own hands. For some of you, it will be a financial door opening that appeared to be welded shut. For others, it will be a divine reconciliation in a relationship that you thought was dead and buried. You will receive a message, a phone call, or a piece of news that will make you catch your breath in wonder. This is the completion of the cycle. Just as I created the world in 6 days and rested on the 7th, I am bringing a specific creation in your life to its finished state. You will enter your Sabbath rest, not because the work is done by your hands, but because you have finally trusted that it is finished by mine. I urge you, my child, do not let these 7 days pass you by in a state of slumber or cynicism. Be alert. Be expectant. The atmosphere around you is changing, even as you listen to these words. Your hidden season is expiring, and your manifested season is beginning. If you feel the weight of this 7-day prophecy, if you are ready to walk through the fire and emerge as gold, do not keep this revelation to yourself. This is a journey for the family of faith. I am watching to see who has the courage to declare their expectation. This 7-day shift is your passage from the desert to the promised land. The clock is ticking, the angels are moving, and the favor of the Most High is resting upon you. Prepare your heart, for by the end of this week, you will not be the same person who started it. The old has passed away, and behold, I am making all things new. My beloved, while your eyes are fixed on the horizon, searching for the thunder and the lightning of a sudden change, I want you to look inward at the quiet, invisible miracle I have already performed within you. You have been so focused on the mountains that haven't moved that you have failed to notice the heart that has been transformed. There was a time not so long ago when the current storm would have completely swept you away. There was a time when this level of silence would have driven you to despair or to seek comfort in the very things that were destroying you. But look at yourself now. You are still standing. You are still breathing. You are still seeking my face even when the heavens seem like brass. This, my child, is the greatest miracle of all the birth of a faith that is independent of your circumstances. I am cultivating in you a spirit that does not need a feeling to know that I am near, and a mind that does not need a sign to know that I am faithful. This is the hidden miracle of endurance, the quiet forging of a soul that has become fireproof. You have often wondered why the external deliverance has been delayed, but it is because I was busy perfecting the internal deliverance. I am making you like the prophet who sang that, even if the fig tree does not blossom, even if there are no grapes on the vines, and the labor of the olive fails, even if the fields produce no food and the folds are empty of sheep, yet he would still rejoice in the Lord. This is the level of spiritual maturity I have been pulling you toward. I have allowed the drought so that you would stop drinking from the shallow wells of human approval and start drinking from the eternal springs of my spirit. The hidden miracle is that you are no longer a slave to your emotions. You are learning to command your soul to praise me when every nerve in your body wants to complain. You are learning to speak life into the valley of dry bones before the wind starts to blow. This inner strength is the foundation upon which I will build the massive blessings of your future. Without this iron in your spirit, the weight of the coming glory would crush you. Think of the majestic trees of the north. During the harsh, biting winter, there is no outward sign of life. The branches are bare, the leaves are gone, and to the casual observer, the tree looks dead. But beneath the frozen surface, in the deep silence of the dark earth, the roots are doing their most vital work. They are stretching deeper, wrapping themselves around the bedrock, anchoring the tree for the storms of the spring. If the tree spent its energy on leaves during the winter, it would surely perish. This is your hidden season. I have stripped away the superficial greenery of your life, the easy successes, the crowded social circles, the constant noise so that your roots would find me. The miracle is not what is happening on the branches. It is what is happening in the soil of your soul. You are becoming unshakable. You are developing a resilience that cannot be bought or taught. It can only be caught in the furnace of affliction. When you emerge from this, people will ask how you survived, and your only answer will be, I was held by the hand that holds the universe. I am looking at you with a pride that words cannot describe. I see the moments when you chose to be kind, even when you were treated cruelly. I see the moments when you chose to trust me, even when your bank account was empty and your body was in pain. These small, hidden victories of the Spirit are more precious to me than the most public displays of piety. You are being trained to handle the weight of glory. I do not give big assignments to small characters, and your character has grown exponentially in the dark. The hidden miracle is that you are beginning to reflect my light even in the shadows. You are becoming a vessel that can hold my power without being shattered by pride. Rest in the knowledge that the invisible work is nearly complete. The roots have found the bedrock. The internal structure is sound. The scaffolding is about to be removed, and the world will see the masterpiece I have been building while you thought I was silent. Your yet is turning into a now, and your secret faith is about to receive a public reward. My child, I hear the heavy sigh of your heart when you look at the calendar and see the years you feel have been stolen. You look at the opportunities that passed you by, the resources that were drained by unforeseen circumstances, and the time you spent in cycles of lack and struggle. You feel as though you are behind, as though the locusts of life have devoured your prime years and left you with nothing but regret. But I am the God who stands outside of time, and I am making a sovereign declaration over your life today. I will restore to you the years that the swarming locust has eaten. I am not just giving you back what was lost. I am giving it back with the interest of heaven. The delays you suffered were not meant to diminish you, but to protect the harvest until the soil of your soul was ready to sustain it. You are not behind. You are being positioned for a suddenly that will make the years of struggle look like a brief moment in the light of the coming abundance. I am breathing life into the dead bank accounts, the stagnant projects, and the withered dreams. The drought is breaking, and the sound of an abundance of rain is beginning to echo in the spirit realm. I have also been doing a deep cleaning in your circle of influence, and I know it has been painful. I saw the tears when people you trusted walked away, when friends turned into strangers, and when you were left alone in your hour of need. You felt rejected, but it was my protection. I was filtering out the voices that would have whispered doubt into your new season. I was removing the weights that would have kept you from soaring. You cannot go where I am taking you with people who are still anchored to your past. I am clearing the space for kingdom connections, people who will see the treasure in you, not just the utility. People who will sharpen your iron and cover your weaknesses. I am bringing destiny helpers into your path who have been waiting for your frequency to align with mine. Do not mourn the exits, for they were necessary for the grand entrance of the right ones. I am surrounding you with a tribe of believers and visionaries who will run with you toward the high calling of your life. Your loneliness was just the vacuum I created to draw in the divine partnerships that will help you fulfill your purpose. Understand this spiritual law. My beloved, financial abundance is not a pursuit. It is a result of a soul at rest. You have been chasing provision with a spirit of anxiety, thinking that your hustle was the source of your supply. But wealth follows the frequency of peace. When your heart is turbulent and full of fear, you create a blockage in the divine flow. But as you have learned to be still and trust me, you have become a magnet for my favor. I am releasing a sudden provision into your life resources, coming from directions you never expected, contracts being signed and debts being canceled. This is not for you to hoard, but for you to become a conduit of my blessing. I am opening the storehouses of heaven because I can finally trust you with the weight of the gold. You have shown me that you can be faithful with the little, and now you are being invited into the much. Stop stressing about the numbers and start living your best life in my presence. As you seek first my kingdom and my righteousness, every material thing you have been worrying about will be added unto you with effortless grace. The days of barely making it are over. The days of more than enough have begun. If you believe that your restoration is being finalized right now, if you receive the promise that your lost years are being redeemed and your storehouses are being filled, do not keep this faith to yourself. Press the like button to seal this financial and relational breakthrough and subscribe to stay connected to the flow of my word. Your agreement is the final touch on the miracle. I am putting my hands on your problems as you take your hands off them and focus on being a blessing to others. The transformation is complete in the spirit, and you will see it manifest in the natural before this season turns. You are a child of the King, and the inheritance of the saints is your legal right. Walk with your head held high, for the poverty of the past has no power over the prosperity of your future. I am turning your mourning into dancing, and your lack into an overflowing cup. Trust me, for I am the God of the breakthrough, and I am moving in your favor this very hour. My beloved, there is a gift that can only be found in the deepest shadows, a gift that I could not give you in the blinding light of the mountaintop. You have emerged from the valley of the shadow of death, and though you felt as if the darkness would swallow you whole, it has instead transformed you. Look at your eyes in the mirror of your soul. They are no longer the eyes of the person who entered the storm. You have developed what I call the eyes of darkness, a spiritual night vision that allows you to see the truth when the world is blinded by illusions. You have learned that the dark is not an empty void, but a canvas where I paint my most profound mysteries. Because you have sat in the silence of the night, you can now discern the subtle movements of my spirit that others miss in their frantic pursuit of the sun. You no longer fear the unknown, for you have met me in the unknown and found me to be faithful. Your journey through the void has stripped away your superficial sight, replacing it with an inner knowing that is anchored in the eternal. This new vision gives you an extraordinary sensitivity to the hidden suffering of those around you. You can walk into a room and instantly feel the silent cry of a heart that is breaking behind a forced smile. You see the invisible, heavy burdens that people carry on their shoulders because you once carried them too. This is not a burden for you, but a divine assignment. I have given you these eyes so that you can be my hands and my voice in the places where others are afraid to go. You have a frequency of empathy that can bridge the gap between despair and hope. When you speak to the brokenhearted, your words carry a weight of authority that the untried can never possess. They will listen to you, not because you have a title or a degree, but because they can see the reflection of their own struggle in your eyes and the promise of their own victory in your peace. You are no longer just a survivor. You are a seer. I want you to understand, Doste, that your scars are not marks of shame. They are your credentials. In the kingdom of heaven, authority is not given to the comfortable, but to the crushed. You have been refined in the furnace of affliction, and the fire has burned away the dross of ego and pretense. What remains is a pure, resilient light that can pierce through any gloom. You are now a guide for the lost. because you know the twists and turns of the dark corridors of depression, anxiety, and loss. You can reach back and pull others through. You don't just tell them that it will be okay. You show them with your very existence. Your presence has become a lighthouse because you allowed the light of my spirit to fill the cracks and crevices of your brokenness. You are a wounded healer, a vessel that has been shattered and put back together with the gold of my grace, making you more beautiful and valuable than you ever were before the breaking. Do not look back at the darkness with regret, for it was the womb of your true self. The pain you endured has become the power you now wield. You have graduated from the school of suffering with honors that only I can bestow. This vision you possess will lead you to your greatest works and your most significant impact. You see the world differently now. You see the potential in the ruin, the harvest in the desert, and the glory in the struggle. This perspective is the mark of a leader in my kingdom. You are being positioned to stand at the forefront of a movement of restoration, where your ability to see through the dark will save lives and change destinies. Walk forward with confidence. My chosen one for the night has no more terrors for you. You have mastered the shadows, and now you are ready to lead others into the dawn. The Bantu has made you fireproof, and your new eyes see the way home. My beloved, the time has come to bury the image of the person you used to be, the one who felt like a leaf, blown by the wind of circumstance, a victim of the choices of others and the cruelty of the world. I am stripping away the victim label that you have worn like a heavy, wet cloak for far too long. You were never meant to be defined by what happened to you, but by the strength you found while it was happening. I tell you today, you are not a victim of the storm. You are the storm's master. You are not a casualty of the battle. You are the decorated veteran of a war the enemy thought you would lose. Rock bottom was not your grave. It was the solid granite foundation upon which I have built an indestructible life. Every tear you shed was a drop of liquid steel tempering your spirit until you became a weapon of light. You are shifting from a posture of, "Why is this happening to me?" to "What am I being prepared for?" And the answer is more glorious than you can imagine. You have been trained in the secret place of suffering, and now you are ready to be unveiled to a world that is desperate for the hope you carry. You used to think your cracks made you useless. You tried to hide the fractures in your heart and the scars on your soul, believing that I only use the whole and the perfect. But listen to my voice. I do not use perfect vessels, for they have no room for my glory. The cracks are where the light gets in, and more importantly, they are where the light gets out. You are a masterpiece of divine repair, a vessel of kintsugi, where the gold of my grace holds the broken pieces together. A lighthouse does not shine because it is a pristine, unblemished tower. It shines because there is a fire burning inside it that refuses to be extinguished by the lashing rain. Your wounds have become your credentials. Your pain has been converted into power. You are no longer looking for a rescue. You have become the rescue. You are the beacon that will guide the desperate souls who are currently drowning in the same waves you just conquered. Your life is no longer about surviving the dark. It is about lashing out against it with a brilliance that cannot be ignored. I have called you to be a wounded healer. This is your highest calling and your new identity. You will walk into rooms and the atmosphere will shift simply because of the frequency of victory you emit. You do not need to speak 1,000 words to convince people of my goodness. Your presence alone will be the evidence. When you see someone drowning in anxiety, you will know exactly what to say, because I whispered those same words to you in your midnight hour. When you see someone paralyzed by fear, you will take their hand with a grip that is firm and steady. for you have felt the bedrock beneath the abyss. This is why I allowed you to go through the fire, not to burn you, but to make you fireproof, so that you could reach back and pull others out of the flames. Every bit of the agony you endured is now a resource for the ministry of restoration I am placing in your hands. You are moving from the waiting room to the war room, and from the pit to the palace of your purpose. Remember this: a lighthouse does not compete with other lighthouses. It simply stands and shines. You no longer need to compare your journey to anyone else's, for their path did not require the same level of preparation. You are a solitary, magnificent structure, built upon the rock of ages. The very people who once looked down on you as broken will soon look up to you as beacon. You are a living testimony that what was meant for your evil, I have turned for your ultimate good. Your mission is clear: to stand in the storm, to hold the light high, and to show the way home for those who have lost their map. You are my lighthouse, and your light will never grow dim, for it is fueled by the eternal flame of my love. Walk with the dignity of a victor, for the victim is dead, and the lighthouse is finally gloriously turned on. My beloved child, the time has come to put words to the transformation that has taken place in the deep recesses of your soul. I want you to join me in this sacred declaration, not with a spirit of begging, but with the authority of a child of the Most High. Close your eyes, place your hand over your heart, and feel the rhythm of life that I have sustained through every trial. Together, we are going to speak to the mountains that have stood in your way. Say these words in the quiet of your spirit, or let them ring out into the atmosphere. Heavenly Father, I stand before you as your chosen one. I thank you for the storm, for it has made me fireproof. I thank you for the silence, for it has taught me to hear your whisper. Today I release the weight of the past. I let go of the bitterness, the shame, and the what-ifs that have kept me bound. I surrender the need to know how and when, and I choose to rest in the who. I decree that the season of stagnation is broken, and the 7-day shift is now in motion over my life. In the mighty name of Jesus, I speak to the bound to in my mind, and I command it. Peace, be still. I command the waves of anxiety to retreat. I command the winds of financial lack to cease. I declare that every chain of generational trauma is shattered, and every door that was locked by the enemy is now being melted by the fire of the Holy Spirit. I am no longer a victim of my circumstances. I am a victor by your grace. I receive the restoration of the years that were stolen. I receive the kingdom connections you are bringing into my path. I receive the clarity of mind to see the opportunities you are placing before me. I declare that I am a lighthouse, and my light will never be extinguished. I am moving out of the shadows and into the fullness of my destiny. I am strong, I am healed, I am forgiven, and I am abundantly supplied. The old has passed away. Behold, the new has come. Feel the atmosphere around you shifting as you make this declaration. This is not just a collection of words. It is a spiritual transaction. You are signing the deed to your new life with the ink of your faith. I am taking every word you speak and anchoring it in the heavens. Can you feel the heaviness lifting from your shoulders? That is the weight of the world, being replaced by the easy yoke of my grace. I am sealing this prayer within your heart, and I am sending my angels ahead of you to level every mountain and smooth every path. You have passed the discouragement test, and now you are entering the season of fulfillment. The prayer of release is done, and the era of your reign has begun. Rest in my peace, for the battle is over, and the victory is already yours. It is finished, my beloved child. Every word I have spoken into your spirit today, every promise of restoration and every whisper of peace is now etched into the foundation of your future. The bow to that sought to destroy you has been silenced by the authority of my voice. This is the moment where the spiritual becomes the material, where the invisible becomes visible. I have placed a divine seal upon your life, a mark of ownership and protection that the enemy cannot cross and no thief can steal. The lessons you have learned in the dark are now your greatest treasures, and the strength you have forged in the silence is your unbreakable armor. You are leaving this place different from how you entered it. The weight has been lifted, the path has been cleared, and the light of my favor is shining brightly upon your face. Do not look back at the wreckage of the past, for I am making all things new, and the glory of your latter house shall be greater than the former. As you step out into this new season, remember that you are never walking alone. You have been brought into a family of light, a community of souls, who like you have been chosen and refined by the fire. I invite you to stay connected to this flow of living water. Do not let this be a single moment of inspiration, but the beginning of a lifelong walk with me. Become a permanent part of this family of believers. Press the subscribe button now to ensure that you never miss a word of my guidance, and press the like button to seal this promise in your heart and signal to the world that you are in agreement with my divine plan. By doing so, you are not just interacting with a video. You are claiming your seat at my table and ensuring that you always have a lighthouse to guide you when the world grows dark. We are building a kingdom together, and your presence is essential to the light we are spreading across the earth. Now, my precious one, it is time to officially activate your mission. The world is waiting for the light you carry. The people you will encounter are desperate for the hope that has been restored in you. You are no longer the victim. You are the beacon. You are the proof that I am a God who heals, restores, and redeems. To lock this blessing into your life forever and to announce your readiness to shine, I want you to make one final declaration of faith. Seal this prophecy and claim your new identity right now. Comment the words, "I am the lighthouse," or "Amen" below to trigger the shift and acknowledge the destiny I have placed within you. As you type those words, feel the power of my spirit surge through you, confirming that it is done. Go forth in peace, for the storm is over, the dawn has come, and you are mine forever. My love is your foundation, and my glory is your reward. It is finished,